You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back to the program. Joining me now, Representative Brian Evans. He is a Republican at Cabot, and he is the House Education Committee Chair, and who knows, maybe some other things too as our interview unfolds here. Thank you for being back on the program.
Oh, thank you, Roby. I always enjoy being on your show.
All right, the LEARNS Act is still in the, in the news. Back during the legislative session, we talked a lot. What's it going to be in it? Then how's it going to work? This, that, and the other. Now we're well after the session, and we're still just embroiled in all kinds of controversy involving LEARNS. This is all legal controversy at this point in time. A judge has issued a temporary restraining order. There is an appeal of that to the Arkansas Supreme Court. Kind of what's the sense among the legislators right now of, is this thing in jeopardy? Is there something that we can do to resolve this issue? So
we believe that the LEARNS Act, excuse me, this is really just a matter of not if, but when. The very encouraging thing to see is I have been around the state, attending various conferences, talking to administrators, talking to teachers, is they're already putting things in place. The implementation, a lot of the concerns with LEARNS is steadily going away. They're rolling up their sleeves and they're getting ready to make a difference in the lives of kids, and that's the positive of it. The chaos is strictly political. The legislature feels very good that this is going to continue on the path that it is. It's just going to take a couple of days to get some of the legal proceedings behind us.
Does it affect the rules and regs process? And you got to wait till this June 20th hearing to see what a judge does, but you guys could still move forward on some things, can you not?
Certainly. So the Department of Education put the stakeholder subgroups together to meet and start developing rules for the implementation of all aspects of LEARNS. The priority to that was the education freedom accounts, because those would be available to start beginning with this coming school year in August. And so that was the first group that was put together to get that put in place. But no, there's no delay in the LEARNS process. At the end of the day, what this really boils down to is whether it is actually law today or whether it becomes law on June 20th. And either way, we're moving forward.
So the Judge Herb Wright, who ruled, put this temporary restraining order in place, said in his ruling that the word separate cannot mean the same. When legislators vote on bills in the legislature, it's you're voting on the bill and the emergency clause, and then it's recorded separately in the books. Tell me why you think that is sound legal footing.
Well, I think precedence quite often always dictates something that is sound. When you have something that is been a practice, and with the institution, whether it be the Senate or the House, that has a practice of that and has that process and has the ability to create those processes, I think there's good sound judgment to that. In my time in the General Assembly under Speaker Shepherd, it has always been our practice of that the announcement is made that you're voting on the bill and the emergency clause. Once that comes to a certain threshold, if the bill were to pass without the emergency clause, the bill is still solid.
A member could raise an objection, though, and ask for a separate vote, could they not? If the motion was for you're voting for the bill and the emergency clause, somebody could say, I want a separate vote on these. I mean, could they do that?
They could. What we see quite often is we see members that maybe are opposed to the bill and could ask for a separate, or they vote against the bill, and then depending upon the vote for or against on that, they may turn around and vote for the emergency clause if they see that they were in a small minority of people that opposed it.
There's a political solution to this too. The governor could call the legislature into a special session. You guys could vote in 2 different votes on these bills. The support would be there, I would argue, for the LEARNS Act at that point in time. So again, to your point of this is a matter of when and not if, that is a potential political solution, depending on how the legal stuff
It could be. There could be a special session called to have two separate complete votes. It'd just be a pain in the rear. So. It would be, and what I would anticipate seeing is that the vote count for the passage of the LEARNS Act and the emergency clause would increase.
All right, switching gears, we're off LEARNS now. My sources say you're a candidate for Speaker of the House because Representative Shepherd's not going to run for another term as Speaker of the House. I think he's running for re-election, but not as Speaker. Are you in for Speaker of the House?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Where's your vote count? What you got?
Well, we're cautiously optimistic, but the encouragement from many members in the General Assembly, in the House, started trickling in early on during the session with encouragement to consider, be prayerful, discussions with family about it, and we did that. We feel like we have a really large support amongst the members. It's been very encouraging to receive the phone calls from members who just say, I'm all in, what can I do to help you?
Yeah. Why do you want to be Speaker? You want to do something different than what's being done? You just want to lead the body as you have been, as you have experienced leadership under? I
think when you look back over the ones who have served as Speaker before me, and I can go back a great number of years as I have been a follower of the House of Representatives for many years, you see a foundation that's been established. You see a respect and sanctity for the institution, a process. But I think in anything that I've ever been involved in, I've always tried to just leave it better than it was when I found it. And that's not to ever say that anything that's been done is negative, but I have a vision, and I want to see us achieve some things going forward into the 95th General Assembly.
You could give me one hint as to what one of those pieces of your vision might be.
Well, it's actually a small vision, but it is 3 steps. Number one is, and it's all involving the membership. We are all elected the same. We all have the same vote, but yet we come from very different districts. Arkansas is a very unique state in diversity, not just from socioeconomic, but from geographical. And when you look at the 100 House districts across the state, they're all different. And so I think it's very important that I have an understanding, if I'm going to lead the House, in really understanding what it's like to be back in their districts. When we're at the Capitol, everybody's in their suit and tie, all the ladies are in their business suits, and there's a sense of equality. But the representation is much different. And so being out there with them in their districts and understanding why they are serving and what their needs are is priority. Second, I believe that we have, in my generation, a very dynamic responsibility of developing the next group of leaders. And so I am very focused in a vision of getting to know those other members of the House of Representatives on a deeper relationship, understanding what their vision of their service is to the House and to the state, to try to help lead, guide, and direct them in reaching those goals. And then thirdly, I think it's important that we have a very laser-focused platform for what the House of Representatives wants to accomplish in the 95th General Assembly for the people of the state of Arkansas.
You know what your district has that no other district has? Holland Bottom Farm strawberries.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that if you were to give those to the 99 other members, you might win with a 99-0 vote.
We are very blessed in my district to have 3 of the very best strawberry growers in the state. They are all great friends, and they all started working together. But the tradition of strawberries in District 68 is phenomenal. To see the people that come from all over the state to get those, we're happy to revive.
All right, I've been one of them that stood in line for an hour and a half to get some one day. All right, I got about 60 seconds left. Any appetite for a special session later this year on Medicaid?
Hearing almost no discussion on that whatsoever. We know that there are issues. I know that the governor's office is working through that. I've heard some trickle that maybe we could be looking at August on that, but as of today, I've not heard anything solid.
All right. Representative Brian Evans, he's Republican of Cabot. He's the chair of the House Education Committee. Always a pleasure to visit with you, sir.
Thank you.
And a candidate for Arkansas Speaker of the House.
Yes,
so
sir.
Good luck to you. Appreciate you being here.